All right, good evening. Good evening, everyone watching on the playback. Anybody coming in? Let's see. Today is Thursday, December 8th, 6:15. It was a high of 51 degrees today. So it was a little bit nice. Got to see some bees flying. Something I want to say quick. Sorry, my nose is itching. Something I want to say really quick that I'm sure everybody already knows about it. A lot of people know. And I kind of knew about it, but I never really used the feature on YouTube. Whenever you get to one of these live videos like this, and it turns out to be a long one, an hour or 2 hours, and you don't really have that much time, what I've been doing lately is changing the speed to like 1.5 or maybe 175. Sometimes double speed, because especially for me, someone who talks slow, who doesn't run all my words together really fast, you can run it at 2 times speed. You'll get to see the whole video and only take half as long. And it's good for everybody. Good for me, good for whoever's watching it. I've been doing that with a lot of videos. It doesn't actually hurt the person whose channel you're watching. It doesn't take from, I don't care about YouTube shit, but it doesn't take from their watch time. It just, as long as you watch the whole thing. But I get to some videos and I see it and it's like 45 minutes. I can't watch that, man. But now I kind of just double the speed and I'm good. How you doing, Tom? So this is just an open little chat. As usual, if people come in and want to talk about something, that's great. If not, that's great, because I got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get ready for work. So I thought I'd just hop on for a little bit. I went around the yard today and looked at all my colonies. I didn't go through them, but they were all flying well. There was the only ones that were getting robbed were the ones that were already dead, that have been dead for a while. So that was good to see. They're just totally ganging up on the colonies that are already dead, so they can just stay a little bit busy and get a little bit of food. So that was good. One that I thought might have died, that was a day or two ago, there was a whole bunch of wax in front of it. The bees had it all cleaned up. Landing board was all clean. All the wax particles were gone. And they had a nice little group of guards, so they weren't dead. They must have just been eating some honey and just dragging the trash out little by little, but just not dragging it very far. Oh, shoot. Let me put the link in here. I don't know if by 2 people that includes me, but I'll put the link here. If anybody wants to talk about bees, not other dumb shit, they can come on in. If not, this will be a short little live stream. Oh, man. I just ate way too much, so I can barely breathe sitting here. What the heck else? Oh, today I made a video. I don't know. I thought it was stupid, but it looks like it's doing okay. I was just walking around and I just thought I'd measure my log colony, but I didn't have any way to measure it. And I was trying to think of something that I could film that just might give some kind of idea of height. So I used my little Walmart crock and measured it. And it's pretty tall. You can't tell from the video, but it's probably 2 feet over my head. And they were doing really good. The tree bees woke up. They're flying. So whoever's in here, say what's up. You can hit the link. As long as I know who you are, I'll let you in. I made a mistake and put chat in the title. That's probably going to bring a bunch of... It could bring bots in here. Let me see. See. Yeah. How much notice did I even give for this one? Like a half hour again, as usual. New pinned chat. What does that mean? A half hour again. You can now pin a message to the top of your chat for viewers to read. All right, so I'll pin that one. Dang, I can't even do it. Wow. Hold on. I just tried to enter my own live stream. How the hell do you do it? Yeah, it won't let me do it. Oh, pin message. All right, so it's pinned. Even as annoying as that is when you go into a live stream and they have a pinned message and then it takes up half the thing and then you got to wait for it or try to get rid of it. And then every time you close out, you got to get it back out of your way again. It's annoying. Oh, so this is also titled Here's Your Chance. So if there's any adults who want to talk about anything, maybe they dislike something I said previously, or maybe they liked it. I don't really care. They can come in here and basically, here's your chance, man. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. I'm not going to give it all day. I'm going to give it like another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to close this up because holy shit, I want to lay down. But, you know, maybe I don't want to start naming names. We'll just see who's here. How's Tom Lindemann doing? Tom's local-ish. He should be harvesting those sunchokes and eating them by now. Where the heck's he at? There's old Tom. Hive life is getting closer. I cannot wait till that. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fun. Who's in here? All right. Let's see. I'll just give it another minute or two. Close it out. I don't have any problems. All right, there's a comment. Hailstorm. You got a hailstorm? You didn't get no hailstorm over here, did you? What's up, Jason? How you doing? I just came on just for, I didn't give any notice. I don't have a guest to come on. Yeah, it was kind of just on a whim. Man, my freaking nose hair is making me itch. But I know a couple of the videos I put out lately, people have, they got feelings, and I want to hear your feelings. Oh, man. I'll give him a minute. You never know about these notifications. Oh, you're trying to tell me that back in September, a hailstorm sacked the sunchokes? What does that mean, sacked them? It couldn't have killed them. It may have broke them down, knocked them down. But their roots would have definitely came back, especially in September. Man, they would have still, they would have grew back. Jason has a feeling, but he's not going to share it. Oh, it broke them? Oh, if it broke them, that's okay. They still should be fine. They would have just, you can't kill them things. Yeah, mine get knocked down very often. This is the first year they didn't get knocked down. Roots are exposed. You can push them back in. Well, usually when it tips over, the roots just come up like same way like a tree trunk. Like when a tree trunk gets knocked over. So there's usually a whole ton of soil in there. I got to turn these notifications off real quick. January. Somebody answered my question on Facebook. Yeah, so you can either stand them back up or you can just pick off the ones that are exposed. That's what I did. So far, I'm just picking off the ones that are exposed from the ones that I pulled out. But I just lay them on the ground. I don't stand them back up. And even that big stand of sunchokes that I have right now, I didn't plant any of those. I went through that soil like I was just picking through it for fleas. I couldn't find any pieces. But there were a couple of stray little tiny fragments that must have been there. So I let them grow. And they were probably down pretty deep. That's probably why they didn't fall over. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to plant them on purpose. I'm going to try to get every one out of there. And if something comes back, it comes back. Cut them down at the end of the season. I would definitely try to get every possible sunchoke out of the ground. I wouldn't just snip them off and leave them there, because whatever you had there is going to be multiplied by 100 in the spring. And then it's going to be very hard to get rid of them. Some lady came here a couple years ago, and she just took one little piece and planted it in her yard. And she was a couple miles down the road. Every time I went by, I saw that big plant, but she didn't harvest it. She just cut it down like you said. And then the next year, oh my goodness, it looked like a bamboo forest there. Yeah, you can. I just pull them up. I pull them up so I can get all the stuff. And you cut them down at the end of the season. See, lately a lot of people, myself included, don't put entire sentences, so it looks like it says cut them down. Now what you're meaning to say is you cut them down. So if that's what you did, then there's still all those tubers underground. So I would dig them up. I got mine. You gave me in a cat food bag. Oh, you have them in a cat food bag. You don't really have to keep them there. You can just bury them right now. You can just bury them in the frozen soil. Doesn't matter. Put them in frozen dirt. Doesn't, bury them 6 inches deep, and then put like a cinder block on top of them, just so that a raccoon or some kind of passing animal can't just dig it up real fast. And then in the spring, just move that cinder block, and trust me, they're gonna come up. They don't need like any special like treatment or anything. They don't need any care whatsoever. Some of them I just tossed into the woods, my little woods in my yard. And the soil back there is just rocks and clay. Looks like it was a dumping ground before. And they grew back there. I didn't even bury them. They just somehow worked their way into the ground, and then they grew. So I was pulling those up because I don't want them to get out of control. Oh, you don't know where you want them yet. All right. Yeah, you can plant them. They don't exactly come up really fast in the spring. You won't even see them until like maybe May. They'll poke out of the ground a little bit. Yeah, they definitely don't come up the way like tulips and daffodils and stuff come up. They wait a long time. And the first couple weeks, it looks like they're not going to get any bigger than an inch or two, and then all of a sudden, forget it. They just explode. Let's see, 6:30. Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm yakking, I'm just going to give people time. This ain't for me. I'm not. I just want to, shoot the shit with some people. Oh yeah, and then the blooming takes forever. Tom Lindemann here, he was like stressing out because the thing was getting 10, 12 feet high, and he didn't see any blooms yet, and just didn't think he was going to get any. And then all of a sudden, well, I guess if yours got knocked down, you might not have got blooms, but mine definitely bloomed. It just took forever. Sounds like the way the loofah grew. Yeah, I like those loofahs. I never did try to grow them, but they look pretty cool. I don't use loofahs in the shower, so I don't know what the heck I would do with them. I actually like the birdhouse gourds a little bit. I like those better. Yeah, Tom Lindemann was stressed out. He was getting stressed out. Okay, so the blooms came, but got knocked down by the hail. Yeah, just like they look like little tiny sunflowers. They're not like magnificent or anything. All right. Let's see. What the heck else? Not really. I haven't really had a. I have seen some really bad videos yet again. Still, there's a never-ending supply of just bad bee videos, or not even that they're that bad. They're just so weird. But I can't really focus on any one yet. But I will soon. Do some more reviews, some more like reactions. Um, Not big heads. Yeah, no, they're real small. They're just like the size of a daisy. Let me see. What were some of the bad video? Yeah, I had some people getting mad at me like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why not? I don't know. I don't do the whole everybody kisses each other's ass all the time. And I got it wide, this whole chat wide open. You can come in here. Let me hear it. I have some really big things coming up in the future. You're not going to believe them. Anything about revisions to the B law? I thought I heard Steve Rapaski talking about there was some type of revision. I don't know. I don't even know what the proposed thing is. I don't know what they were trying to propose. It would be crazy if they try to do something stupid like forcing treatments on people. I don't know what needs to be changed. I don't see anything really wrong with it. Like, what's wrong with it? It's already too strict. It should be less strict. Hope local. Yeah, I don't know. I can understand there's some places that are like very crowded neighborhoods with little yards. And maybe they should be able to say, hey, we don't want bees here. But I mean, I'm grandfathered in here as far as I'm concerned. Oh, yeah, the one hive per 3 acres, that's insane. I've seen that in places. In that case, I wouldn't even be able to have bees. I don't have 3 acres. I would just hide them. Wouldn't even be a big deal. I would take a year completely off from here, cancel my registration, cut all ties with everything, and then just just hide them. And then that's it. I wouldn't do videos from here. Not a big deal. Oh, that's in Bucks County. That's crazy. That sounds like a country ass place. Like they would. It's not a city. It's not like around. I don't know. Yeah, the government. Yeah, it's like. It's silly to actually pay money to tell on yourself to make them check on you all the time. It's weird. They're not helping me. I definitely don't need any. I don't need inspectors. I'm glad you live in the woods. I kind of live in a wooded area, but I'm right on the road by some farmlands. What's up, son of 263 Bs? How you doing? Let's see. Did I get a letter from the FDA about from the FDA? No. I I got my queen selling permit from the USDA and my nuke selling permit from the USDA, but nothing from the FDA. What's that about? DC's Blessed Bees, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Are they adding bee inspectors? Well, here in Pennsylvania, we already have bee inspectors, and we don't have a lot. We only have a few, so they have to really inspect a lot of people. I don't know how they do it. Seems like a cushy job just to go around and mess around with bees for a little bit. I don't really need them, but they come here every year. Oh, so USDA, yeah. I get plenty of stuff from the USDA, just like my permits and things, but not an actual letter telling me anything new. It's rainy. It's been just totally wet and soaked here all the time for the past few days. Not really cold because I did have bees flying today, but just squishy and muddy and slippery. So, yeah. So for anybody just joining, I just came on for a little bit just to see if anybody wanted to talk about like recent videos or something. I don't have a guest tonight. I'm not going to get into too many things, but yeah, whoever wants to talk about recent videos or just some stuff. A lot of people give me a lot of weird comments. They don't come on here and say anything though. I try to say things and get blocked or just get my shit deleted, so it's weird. Oh, an online survey from the I don't give a shit about them. I'm not gonna waste a minute telling them anything. Like, what are they gonna tell me? 40s and 30s. Yeah, I have an issue with kind of wet situation, not wet bees, because I have a ton of ventilation on all my hives, but a lot of my woodenware is so old and kind of just dilapidated, so it kind of becomes like a sponge. So when rain gets on it, it almost becomes it just soaks up water and then it freezes. So it's even worse than it's worse than just having dry painted wood as a wall. Now they have actual ice cubes as a wall. But I haven't had any colonies die yet, besides the ones that didn't make it to winter. Some of them didn't make it to winter, which is totally expected. But so far, everybody who made it to winter is still fine, but it's very early, so there's no reason to count my chickens. Jason says he has a question. If I finally get bees around here and I feed hummingbirds, are the hummingbirds going to try taking out the bees? I don't think so. Hummingbirds do eat a little bit of bugs, a little tiny bit of bugs, but they're nothing. They can have no effect on a honeybee colony. You're talking like 1 against 50, 60,000. There's other birds that eat a ton more bees, like swallows. Swallows eat a ton of bees. Those little friggin' birds, they're really fast. What are they called? Like wrens, I think they are. They eat a bunch of bees, but even them, even though they eat a lot of bees, it's still nothing. It's like absolutely not going to do anything unless they eat a queen on a mating flight, and that does happen. So that's one reason you got to check to make sure your queen made it back. Let's see, at DC's bees first winter, you're still figuring your way through it. Yeah, well, I can see. I know if you go to the same live streams I do, holy shit, you get so much crazy, like crazy information. it's hard to just listen to somebody who's done it done it a lot. Because you got people that just haven't done it a lot, who don't really have a focused way of doing things, just chiming in all kinds of weird stuff all the time, messing you up. If anything, you may find the bees are your hummingbird feeder. Yeah, during dearth, yeah, you'll have a lot of bees probably at that. Yeah, we have a lot of dragonflies. Hummingbird moths. Yeah, those are cool. Hummingbird moths are really cool looking. They don't do anything. But what was I going to say? Is that my dog barking? Give me 1 second to see what the hell this dog is barking at. I might have left him outside. So I'll be right back. Oh, yep, that's exactly what I did. I left my dog outside. Closed the door and forgot him. Let's see. Hang on live just for fun. I get memed mostly from a mentor. Yeah, I mean, lives are, yeah. I mean, that's why I do lives, just to talk to people, talk bees. But you guys already heard my thing. It's just lives they're just so different now. I don't know. It's just a weird. It's weird. I don't even know where to start. It's not so much beekeeping talking. It's more like just non-beekeeping stuff. It's like a long commercial. Yeah, well, luckily it's not that cold. It's probably, let's see, I can tell right here, 43. It's cloudy. My dog's hairy. He wasn't that cold. Yeah, lives are weird. You get lives where like 3 people are just sitting there not saying anything. Actually, they don't even know anything, so they shouldn't even be saying anything unless they're asking questions. But that's up to them. It's always up to whoever's channel it is. It looks. I couldn't have someone just like, if you're new and you have questions, that's fine. I don't have all the answers, but I'm not gonna have somebody just like co-signing stuff and like this is, I don't know, being like a star and doesn't know anything. Let's see. What is DC? I wish the different camps wouldn't care so much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about people. There probably is bee politics. At least there will be. I'm not a part of anybody's politics. I can't. I mean, who do I even like? I do like some YouTubers, but not many of the live ones. Just it's so commercialized, man. I don't know. It changed. See, a lot of people in here and a lot of those people in them lives, they weren't even around 2-3 years ago. They don't know, like they just don't know much. It wasn't always like that. I don't know nothing, but I say it's okay. I mean, everybody gets excited about things and wants to talk a lot, but it can be confusing when you got somebody. I'm not saying me. I'm talking about you when you have somebody who knows what they're talking about, and you got a couple fucking bozos constantly chiming in and making dumb jokes and it just takes something away from it. Let's see. Son of one, 263 bees. I know you're in a cold climate. I have bees still flying here now. Oh, you're in Alabama. Doesn't seem like they'll be locked down. They're still eating in open feeders. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't kept bees in that kind of climate. To me, it would be so much easier to keep bees down there. So much easier. It's warmer. If they're eating in open feeders, yeah, I don't know. I don't feed bees anymore, so I don't even. If they don't put it away by the time they're supposed to put it away, they're gonna starve to death, you know. And I haven't had that happen ever since. I just let them do. I let the bees do being bees. I don't like coddle every aspect of their life with freaking beetle traps and just everything inside of these hives, man. But to each their own. They can do it. I just find, man, they can really do it. If you're small scale like me and you really just let them do it, they can do it, regardless of what anybody says. I think everyone should find a local mentor. Yeah, mentors are good, but it's hard. Not only is it hard to find one, but it's hard to be one. There's just not many people. Well, there's another thing. Okay, so mentoring. Before my time, before a lot of people's time, there was a way that you mentored, or the way you were mentored. You had to go work for a beekeeper for a while, and then usually, I guess the tradition was they would give you some bees. But now it's like the people get the bees. They learn on YouTube how to stick them in a box, and then all of a sudden they want to go to the bee club and have somebody come to their house every week. And it just, people try to get me to do that every year. And I was dumb. I used to do that. Yeah, not anymore. But yeah, so out of all the people who keep bees, then you cut that down into people who would be a good mentor. Then you cut that down into people who would be a good mentor, and then have the time and the patience to deal with people. And it gets cut down to a really small number of people. And then you compare that to the number of people getting sucked into keeping bees because they think it's like saving the bees. So now there's just no way to meet the demand. So everybody goes to YouTube and they get stuck watching channels of people who just can't focus, can't even keep a swarm in a box, can never keep a swarm in a box, can't catch the swarm, can't put it in, just doesn't. And they're learning from channels like this. Yeah, if you can't comfortably just capture a swarm really comfortably, put it into a box, and then get them to stay. Like if you can't get them to stay, yeah, you definitely should not be mentoring anybody. Society's definitely changed. I don't know who to blame for that, really. I don't know. I know when I first started, I kind of did the same thing. I don't have any excuse. I'm a hypocrite. I've been studying bees my whole life, though. So from when I was little, it's not like I didn't know anything and I decided one day I wanted to be a beekeeper. I always wanted to mess with bees. I just didn't. I couldn't find the time to settle down. I wasn't stable. Then when I finally became stable, yeah, it was just different. There was no YouTube bee channels. So I had to go. I looked on a bottle of honey, a local bottle of honey, found the phone number, called them, had to find out from them where to get bees from. I had no instructions, none at all. A lot of mentors are new also, and using their students to learn from their mistakes. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's all you have, though. What's up, Jake? Yeah, I'm not putting that up there. Yeah, like even there'll be people asking. I'll talk to someone. They'll be like, "Oh, my mentor told me to do this." And I'm like, "Who's your mentor?" "Oh, it's this guy." I'm like, "What?" That guy just started keeping bees, teaching classes and everything. If people are not smart enough to weigh the incoming information about, right? So it's kind of like what Jason Chrisman was saying. You gotta kind of know what you're doing. You're still gonna make a shit ton of mistakes. There's no way you're gonna avoid that. But like, put some effort into knowing what you're gonna do. It doesn't matter if you're treatment free or not, or if you treat your bees. That's all. Just know something. Don't go buy bees and then not even know what you're gonna do with them. I have not paid for a single package or nope. All liners want to see. So there you go. You're 10 miles ahead of basically anybody I know. If it wasn't for that one stupid package I bought, I could say the same thing that you're saying. But I can't go back. Can't go back in time. Yeah, so if you already caught swarms, like that was from trapping, well, then that's crazy. That's fantastic. That's great no matter what, even if you went on calls to get them. So yeah, you already got that down. So you did it this year, you can do it next year if something happens. Iowa lands beekeeping. George, I don't have a mentor because of my land size. I soak up the lives and recordings. Third year now. Cool. So you can weed out some of the bogus stuff. I think, and I don't know, lands beekeepers to me seem to just seem to have put a little bit more thought into things. Just in my opinion, I don't even have a lands hive, but it seems like people who decide to go with lands, they decide that because they studied like Dr. Sharashkin or something. They may have read the book Beekeeping with a Smile, so they kind of know a little bit more than somebody who just gets to starter kit off of Man Lake. Am I blurry? I might be a little blurry. I don't have good lighting. This isn't the best camera. This is kind of like an old laptop. It looks clear to me, but I don't have my glasses on. Journeyman. I don't know. I think Journeyman is like an actual official title. Like if you're a plumbing journeyman or I don't know, a mason journeyman. Those are like real things you gotta pay to take those classes. And if you're going for the master beekeeping title, there are some that they go from journeyman to or apprentice, journeyman to master. Like they actually use that means a real thing. So you can't. I don't know if you'd be able to just use that one. I don't know. You could. I've seen one swarm here in 10 years. Yeah, it's not about looking and seeing them. You got to bait them traps correctly. And I'm sure you know plenty of swarm trap videos. So I think if you set out 10 traps, which with you probably be able to build them really easily. Not like me, I have all thumbs. You could easily bait 10 traps perfectly, correctly, and you'll see more swarms than, the ones you just happen to be outside and see them. Let's see. DC bees. I got bees given to me, so I figured, okay, that's right. I think you were the one telling me. Was that you telling me something about? Oh, no, that was one of my guests. Let's see. I've done a cutout, which I failed at, and figured, yeah, cutouts, man. Even after you've done them a while, I haven't done many of them, maybe 100 in my life, but it's very easy to mess up. There's been the wrong time of the year, the wrong equipment, one bad move. If you guess where they're at wrong, you can just mess up really easy. There are good instructional video producers. There are. Most of those are trying to sell you stuff. You can't read the banner writing. Okay, so you're talking about like that. You can't read that part. What I find is if you're on your phone, I don't know if you're on your phone, but if you kind of slide the needle back a little bit, the little circle, slide it back, and then slide it back the other way, it comes in clear. Or you can just click out of live and then click back in. Sometimes that'll fix it. Okay, so yeah, so like what DC is saying, those people like in construction, they have to actually put in a whole bunch of hours and like give presentations and do all kinds of projects just to get that term. So if somebody said they were a journeyman beekeeper, to me it sounds like they're working their way to a master, which they're probably not. I'm a bit curious if you think African eyes would be as sick as our European genetics once you have the time to get neonicotinoid exposure from. So the question in all those words is, do I think African bees would get as sick from all that stuff? Well, that's a tough question because it's actually probably not intentionally a loaded question. But to me, I would say it's kind of unintentionally loaded. I do not find that honeybees, and I have a lot of bees, and I have a lot of neonics. I do not find that they display any type of sickness from from. I'm surrounded by neonics. Like I'm in a cornfield. I'm in soybean fields. I have people. I all the like. What do you call them? Ornamental plants people plant around here. They're all neonic plants. I do not. I don't notice it. So will they get as sick? They probably just react the same, which is probably not that much. Same thing with Roundup. I don't like Roundup. I don't want to use it. I don't like the taste of it when it blows across the field into my mouth from while I'm sitting here in my yard from the farm. It stinks. It tastes bad, but it's there. I can't stop it. And that has zero effect on my bees. Just telling you. I mean, if it did, I would definitely say that it does, but it has no effect at all. I know that there's some studies that say, over a period, they did all kinds of lethal doses, but in the regular everyday on the ground doing bees and working having bees near farms, I don't have that unless it's some kind of massive pesticide spray, like mosquito sprays. I've heard those will definitely kill a ton of bees if they spray it at the wrong time. Yeah, man. That's all you gotta do is make some traps. It's so easy. I mean, it's easy for you. But if you look at the videos, just making them out of big ass styrofoam boxes, or if you have just any shaped box, doesn't matter. Just smear some melted beeswax in that thing and get real swarm lure. So about swarm lure, I was given one of my whatever you call it, a hard time about this new swarm lure. Not really a hard time. It was a fair question. I said, how many swarms has a swarm lure caught? And the answer was, well, of course it didn't catch any because it just came out in the fall. But the reason I said that is just because, let me just check these questions. I know that Swarm Commander went through quite a bit of like testing and friggin' trials and shit for a long time before it was released. And it works good. I don't endorse it. They don't pay me. So that's the only thing the point I was getting at. It probably, if it's just a rip off of Swarm Commander, if it just smells exactly like lemongrass oil, if it smells exactly like Swarm Commander, and it's just a rebottling of the same thing, well, okay, then it's just a rip off, and you don't really need to test it. But that wasn't the impression that I was getting. The impression I was getting was there's no lemongrass. It's just like a brand new way of catching things. Had bees as a kid on the farm. Cool. Oh, there it is. Oh, what is? Let's see. Maybe Oh, no more blurry. Okay. Oh, okay, he drinking a little bit of the Pruno. It's a world we're living in, unfortunately. Yeah, so even Jason can tell you where he lives. I'm trying to picture, like, yeah, he's right across from a farmer field too. We have bees all around. This whole area is all farming and just stuff. There's no way to get away from it, and I just don't see. I don't see any effects. I have bees that die, but I think it's from mites every time or starvation. That's it, or queen failure. What's up, Ronnie Middleton? How you doing? Let's see. A lot of bee science doesn't seem to directly relate to beekeeping. Yeah, a lot of the stuff people are making up, like these, like somebody was talking about that thing that college student made, where it's a little, it's like an entrance thing where some formic acid gets on the bees. That's from 5 years ago. They never actually made it. It wouldn't work. The kid never had bees, never kept bees, just invented it in the kid's mind. And everybody in the media said, oh, this is going to be the next big thing to save the bees. It's never being brought to market. It's never going to work. If it was ever brought to market, it would be a disaster because nothing is going to breed resistance in mites faster than such a low dose over a long period of time. That's like you know how they put the frog in the hot water and the cold water and then they heat it up, but they only heat it up a little bit and then they just leave it there. The frog will just get used to it and won't die. All of them are the same. There's a lot of scammers now. Yeah, I mean, as far as swarm lore, hey, whatever, man. Spend your money on whatever you want to. Free to spend it. These are just the questions that I would be asking. Like if I was going to buy something. Now let's pretend I didn't even know the person's son. I might just buy it because I don't know anything, but I kind of know. I kind of know that it was invented one month and put on sale the next month. So if it's just a rebottling, of course it's going to work. Of course, it wasn't formulated by anybody. It's not a new formulation. If it's new, I don't know. It's just so many questions. I'll never get like a calm answer. Do I watch Corey Stevens? Yeah, I do, but sometimes his videos are so long. They're like 3 hours long. I put them on double speed, like I said at the beginning of this video. If you're watching any of my lives and you're like, holy shit, he talked for an hour or 2 hours, put it on double speed. I don't talk that fast. It'll sound normal. Corey Stevens, I have kind of a, what would you even call it? Corey Stevens is, trying to produce bees that don't require treatments. Like that's the goal. So I think that's what he does. With instrumental insemination. The only thing that bugged me when I watched some of Corey Stevens' videos is he'll be talking to someone like Ian Stepler and he'll like joke around about treatment-free beekeepers. Like he'll say, I'm not one of those crazy treatment-free beekeepers. And I sit there watching like, what the fuck are you talking about? if you're going to be something, be that thing. Don't just because Ian's sitting there, now you're going to try to like buddy up by saying dumb shit like that. But otherwise, I guess I've never had any of his queens. I've heard they're good. Let's see. Most of the frogs, yeah. He had a gallon. He had a gallon. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I saw part of that. I watched maybe, by the time they got to actually talking about anything, it was like maybe 40 minutes into it, and I forget what I was doing, but I had to go. So I'll watch the rest. Yeah, I probably just got to watch the rest. Somebody just shared it on Facebook today, and I allowed it, so I guess I got to watch it now. That's the bee politics I don't like. So what bee politics? Well, let's talk about bee politics. I don't like be specific. I try to be specific. Pretty much you can't make anybody mad at me because just about everybody can't stand me. So I'm not going to lose any friends talking about anyone in here. Um, oh, yeah, he has really, I mean, if it's a good long interview, that's cool. And I did watch plenty of them all the way through, but I'm kind of quirky when I watch people. Any type of little ticks or weird word usage that kind of gets repeated all the time, it'll make my brain start to burn a little bit. So there's some people that I really can't watch, even though they're probably saying great stuff. If they kind of do the same thing over and over again, it gets hard to watch. I don't like how the labeling of the bee industry makes it so you're only a man if you have 1,000 colonies or at least 100. I found that even 20 is hard to keep up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I think that you're only a man or you're only a beekeeper if you have a lot. Um, Once somebody is over like the 200 range, I'm not interested. They're probably, a sideliner. I wouldn't have anything in common with them. I wouldn't think anything bad about them. I just don't care about what they're doing. They don't care about what I'm doing. I mostly like to converse with people that have, 100 or so or less, all the way down to two. I don't care. But yeah, it can be hard. Um, Depend on a lot of things. I get lucky, I guess. I don't have time to mess with my bees. Yeah, I mean, you've been having a good time down there, and I remember you did get two or three nukes or something earlier in the year. Maybe that was even last year. That's how like my brain doesn't remember stuff that well. I forget, where did you get those from though? You got those bees. Where did you get them from? I wonder how they did. No writing. Where's he located? Um, yeah, you gotta play him at double speed. Let me see what else is going on. God damn, all these people. Somebody. Yeah. So the southwest. Southwest. Okay, so that's like over there. Let me turn the notifications completely off. This thing is vibrating like crazy. Somebody was seriously commenting last night, um, leaving like troll comments all the way up till past midnight last night. It was absolutely mind boggling. Okay, so you got 5 new ones. I lost 2. Why did I think you got 2? So you had 5 colonies? There's a lot of beekeepers in Utah, but we don't get a lot of swarms. Yeah, that's crazy. That's the beehive state, man. And there is a beekeeper in Utah whose videos I watch. He goes out and he removes colonies. Yeah, he's in Utah. I mean, it's a big state, I guess. He could be anywhere, but I remember one of his videos, he found 3 separate colonies in one tree. Craziest thing ever. There was the trunk in the middle, and then there was 3 giant branches. He found 3 colonies in one tree. That's crazy. Second dry state in Utah. Well, in the Utah. Let's see. Yeah, well, in Arizona, there's some beekeepers in Arizona. When I was there, they kept bees, and it's dry as hell out there. Their honey was like 12%. That stuff was thick. I guess I'm just a peacemaker at heart. Man, I'm kind of nice. All right, take it easy, Jason. Okay, so second dry state in the USA. I wonder, why do they call it the beehive state? Is that where they invented beehives? He had 2 that were mean as hell, so I ordered 5 more. Company has 1,000. So anyway, about this, the whole getting along thing, it's just so weird. I did do kind of the origin story of why everybody gets so pissed off at me all the time, of where it all started. I did that video a little while back. Like, I was just minding my own business over here one day, didn't have a single care in the world, making little dumb videos. I think I had like, I don't know, 600 subscribers or something. So it was a little while ago. And then just started to get this one nagging pain in my ass. And it became several. But again, I'm just a newbie. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with being new. You'll get used to it. Their bees are a lot nicer, but I think I lost a couple. Yeah, if you don't see activity and it's like nice and warm, yeah, they're probably done. All right, no, Ryan, going to tell us it was called the Beehive State because Brigham Young wanted people to be like bees, where bees are all, cooperation and be good to each other, but early history, not lots of bees here. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was because they had a ton of bees. Seems weird to me. Well, I do love beekeeping. I do love messing with bees, but my bees aren't my girls. They're not my ladies. I don't actually love them like I love my dog or my kid or like my mom or dad. I don't love bees that way. Not that way. I do love bees, but I don't love them like they're my kid. There's not that for me. I don't get upset when they're struggling. They have to just prove that they have genetics to live. I love when my bees make honey. I don't eat much, but my wife loves it. Yep, that's right. I did find something really cool you might like to know. So those old beehives were skeps, yeah. But I found out in Swedish, Danish, the word skep means ship. Yeah, I wonder if there's any connection to that. I don't know. Over here, like in Pennsylvania, according to the law, a skep is anything that doesn't have frames in it. So if you have like my barrel that has bees in it, it doesn't have frames, they would call that a skep. But the cool skeps that they used to make where they're like, looks like an upside down bowl with a little hole in it, I would love to know how to make those. I see people make them. I might have to take a class. So I was listening to a bee conference, a panel of a bunch of beekeepers, and I hear it said all the time. So many beekeepers, so many people that give presentations always say, we all just want the same thing. We all just want to keep our bees healthy and keep our bees alive. Why do people say that? It's such a like meaningless statement, really, because it just sounds so funny. Like you're not really telling us any news when people say that. And as a non-treating beekeeper, I have no desire at all to keep bees alive that are trying to die. Like they're letting you know that they're no good. They need to die. I don't jump in and try to rescue them. There's no need to because bees are free. What's up, Bobby's Bee? How you doing? Man, I almost cut this thing off many times because it was just like I came on, wasn't really, just came on to see if anybody wanted to hop in. Nobody wants to hop in and talk. which I can understand that. And then we just started rapping, just shooting the shit about bees. I don't have anything to sell. I don't have any products. You don't have to go to my website. Everything's good. All right, take it easy, Jake. Yeah, so my style, it's my style. I don't save bees, and I also don't expect everybody to like do what I do. I don't expect that. It's funny, like another thing they'll say, what I heard many times in this panel was, if you have the same ass argument they say all the time. If you have dogs, if you have cats, if you have cattle was a big one. They kept talking about cattle. You would make sure your cattle are great. Well, how about this question? When you have a cattle that's born with an extreme deformity, a congenital defect that it's not going to survive, what do you do with it? You put it out of its misery. Like if you have a cat born with two heads or with no mouth parts, you don't want to pass those. You're not going to like send it to surgery, get it all fixed up, and then add it to your breeding stock. So you can't use the cattle argument or the horse argument or the cats and dogs. You can't say that you would take care of it when I'm not talking about taking care of it. I'm talking about, is it fit to multiply? That's all I'm talking about. And the fact that, and I think the same thing I do with bees is the same thing farmers do with their animals. They cull the ones that are no good. That's all. I'm just bringing this up because this was the panel I was listening to. They kept using the same boring arguments every time. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. That's all I gotta do. Start doing giveaways. I need to start like writing emails to huge YouTubers, see if I can get them to come on, and then see if they'll post it to their community page so I can steal all their subscribers. It's too obvious. So I can learn aspects of your style that I can add to mine. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to say all over the world, but yeah, to me it's just interesting. I was watching these beekeepers that are in, I don't know if they're in Iran or Iraq or something. They have honeybees that I'm telling you, they're like this big. They're not stingless bees either. They're actual honeybees, but they're a different kind. And they only live on one comb, like one comb that's about this big. And they make one little comb, and that's the whole colony. And they keep this one comb on a little stick. They stack up some bricks, they put this little stick in there, and they put a lid on it. And that's what the bees live in. And they, every so often, because they don't have winter in that, whatever this part of the country is, they lift up the little stick, they take their knife, they cut the whole thing off. They just whack the whole thing off. I think they cut the little brood part off and might like band it back. And then they put that stick right back. And the bees just rebuild it. It's the weirdest thing. But they're actual real honeybees and they're tiny. And they sting too. They're not the stingless ones. YouTube channels need to do things their way. Yeah, be yourselves. I mean, the idea of inviting huge YouTubers on to get some of their clout is genius. I mean, I'm going to give credit where it's due. It's genius. I've had a bunch of guests on here. None of them have been big YouTubers. They're just regular people with interesting stories. So we can talk about beekeeping. I don't want to talk about 10,000 subscriber giveaways and like just like the weirdest stuff. And most people in the chat don't even have a bunch of subscribers. They don't want to hear about a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I don't. I was curious if you think having the colonies in smaller boxes, smaller space, gives more varroa disease resistance than if they had more space. I can't really say that there's a correlation because I do have bees that just happen to be in kind of smaller setups, and then I have some that are in bigger setups. Double two 10 frame deeps with two mediums on top. And let's see, the smaller space gives more resistance. I don't think it. The only thing that makes resistance happen is exposure over time. That's it. Exposure plus time equals resistance, period. No matter what you have them in. I think that structurally, a big hive is going to put your colony at a disadvantage over winter in a place like Pennsylvania. So I may have screwed my bees that are in them big hives. Yeah, so that's one way that a beekeeper like me can ruin their bees is by expanding them so big, full of honey, and then leaving it on over winter. Yeah, so I could cause my bees to die that way. But resistance itself, just like with mites, the way mites become resistant is exposure plus time. Period. Then they're resistant. Some things faster than others. So the same way that works with mites, same way it works with bees. Bees that are exposed to mites over time and selected for that become resistant. So yeah, that's just where that comes from. You'll hear these people say, "Oh, well, we're just going to treat them and get the levels down low to help the bees figure it out." That's not how it works. It's just not how it works. So Pakistan, yeah, maybe that was the same channels I was watching. Oh shit, yeah, those Asian giant giant honeybees. That's another one who builds their whole colony on one comb, but they make them in big groups. So like on those cave walls, you might have 100 of those 10-foot tall combs with Apis dorsata, which is the most gigantic honeybee you ever seen. And those people hanging from ropes with a big ass sword cutting them things down. They're crazy. And then you have that guy who takes a whole handful of those Asian giant honeybees and puts them in his shirt, puts them in his mouth, puts them down his pants, and just then he opens his shirt and they all come flying out. That's crazy. I like the small community feel of a group. We're unexpected to be a Superman. Yeah, I think I have a pretty good community here. Here, it's not big. I'm probably never going to be big unless I just get lucky with a viral video. But most of those videos, they might get a ton of views. They'll pick me up a couple subscribers, but I mean, they just like to see a couple bee videos. They may not actually be beekeeper. I could do a swarm catching contest. I could do it. I could do it this year. I think that's like an honest, like, not a big deal thing. I get a little prize. Everybody messes around, tries to catch swarms, and then has a little prize. I don't need to invite Bob Binney on to give it away. Yes, I'm in Pennsylvania. You're curious if I'm by any Amish communities? How far? I mean, it depends what you mean by near. There's definitely Amish people around here. There's definitely a ton of Amish people when you get just a little bit further away. Yeah, they're around. They don't. I haven't really interacted with them much, except for maybe like at the market, the farmers market. Very rarely. They don't really talk much to you. Who won last year? Well, we didn't do one last year, but the year before, the champion of swarm catching was none other than Hickory Hives right here on the screen. He won the sought-after Swarmstead hive tool engraved Swarm Boss 2021. Yeah, the giant hornet. I mean the giant honeybee. Yeah, that's a good 2 knuckles. A good 2 knuckles long. They also cut him down with the sword while half naked. And no, I think they just send a whole thing of smoke up. It just smokes everybody at the same time. And they don't worry about leaving anything behind. They cut the whole thing down. They eat the honey. They eat the brood. They just take the entire nest down. And those bees just have to start all over again. I still have never seen a Asian giant honeybee queen. I just can't imagine how big that thing is. Probably as big as a hamster. Yeah, I'm guessing the stingers are big because even the like local people, they do suit up. Although I have seen sometimes where they don't. When their nests are close to the ground, they don't suit up. But when they're hanging from them ropes, they do suit up. Okay, so yeah, I don't know the difference between Mennonites and Amish, but I know neither want to talk to me. Yep, yeah, they build the barns. Yeah, I don't know. They're definitely business people. And then there's, which one is there with that guy that makes all that bee equipment down there in Paradise, Pennsylvania? I don't know if he's Amish or Mennonite, but they have good stuff. And it's cheap too. And he's a businessman. He you walk in there, he ain't taking any shit. He'll be like, hold on a minute. He always has a whole line of people wanting stuff. All right. Well, I'm gonna 7:30. Forest Hill, yeah, it's Forest Hill. If you're ever swinging through Pennsylvania, stop at Forest Hill. I went there one time. He didn't have enough boxes that I wanted. He told this guy, he's like, He starts, I need 10 boxes really fast. That dude just started cutting boxes, like just cutting. He ran back there. Maybe 15 minutes later, I had all these boxes stacked up. Yeah, they don't play around. Yeah, I'm going to get going. I mean, I'll check out some other live. What's today? Thursday? There should be some other lives going on. And maybe I'll see you there. My comments might not show up in any of these lives. But have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take it easy. Jason, Noah, DC, Son of One, Tom, everybody. All right. See you later.